What happens if Pinocchio says, "My nose is about to glow"?
On last week's episode, the New Year's episode, which is kind of be a New Year's episode as well, Cole and I played a game and we tied, and it's unacceptable. So we are going to do a tiebreaker today to fix that. And if we tie again, then we're really upset. But I don't think we're going to tie the way I have.
We better not tie. We better not.
If you haven't seen that episode yet, I'll briefly kind of go over what the game was. I did a poll on Instagram with a bunch of questions, just random ones like, of these fries, which one's your favorite? Chick-fil-A, Arby's, McDonald's, and Rally's. And then Cole and I try to pick out what was the least voted for and the most voted for. So today, the one we're going to do is actually from a clip from one of my favorite YouTube channels, which is a big part of what we're going to go over today too, is some YouTube stuff and our year in review versus the last episode, what we did, the review in the future. And they polled way more people than we're able to poll on the Instagram. Which of these four is your favorite or least favorite or your favorite Chex Mix? And they rank them in Chex Mix chips. And I'm just going to play the clip, and Cole and I, instead of just voting for the least favorite and most favorite, we're going to vote for them in a complete ranking and see who can get the most correct as far as that ranking goes. So I'm going to play the clip here for everyone, so you should be able to hear it and or see it. Here we go.
Now, this is such a confusing game. I have no clue what's happening.
Oh, I'm going to reveal to you what the worst one is. There's going to be some suspense.
Okay.
And I'd like to start by saying that I agree with the two of you that the rye chip is the best.
So I got to stop playing the clip there. So did you see all the chips?
Yes. Take it back to the other screen. Yeah, there we go.
All right. So for those of you just listening, we've got 5 different ones instead of 4 like we did. Of the Chex Mix, you have the square pretzel, you have the wheat Chex Mix, you have the rye chip, you have the round pretzel, and you have the mini breadsticks. So Cole and I are going to take a second here, kind of as we're talking as well.
Okay.
And I want you to rank them, and I'm going to write mine down. So you'd rank number 1 would be the most voted for,
okay,
and then go 2, 3, 4, 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and everybody can play along here. So I'll read them off again as I'm trying to do my answers as well. You've got square pretzel, you've got the wheat Chex, you have the rye chip, the round pretzel, and the mini breadsticks. And so for Cole and I can think a little bit. I'm actually just going to edit this portion out so that we can just not just sit here in silence, because we really want to think. We really want to get this correct. So I'll edit this little portion out here. And so then Cole and I can really think. We'll be back in a second. Okay, so Cole and I have both written down our order. So we're going to both go through what we wrote down, and then we'll play the clip and see what was actually voted for. And I'll go first here because Cole in the last episode went first a lot. And I am not confident in these whatsoever. I'm really not. So I put as number 1, which might be a bad idea. And I know they said in the clip that the rye chip, they agree as well. That's one of their favorites. So I'm going to go number 1, rye chip. Number 2, the wheat Chex. Number 3, the square pretzel. Number 4, the mini breadstick. And number 5, the round pretzel.
Okay.
So what do you got?
We're completely opposite, which is fantastic.
Okay, here we go. Tiebreakers gonna work.
I put number 1, the wheat Chex.
Okay.
Number 2, the square pretzel.
Mm-hmm.
Number 3, the mini breadstick.
Okay.
Number 4, the round pretzel. And number 5, thank you, Kylo.
He's hyped about your answer.
I know, he likes it. The rye chip.
Oh, man, you put rye chip at the bottom.
I think it's actually the worst. It is the worst thing I've ever put in my mouth. It's just disgusting. It tastes bad. I don't understand why they like it at all.
I like it. So I did mine basically based on personal preference, to be
really?
Honest. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
We'll see. And I feel like Kylo's probably going to go off a lot in this episode, and it's just going to be one of those episodes.
That's fine. He's hyped up.
I think there's several things coming. So if he goes on a rant or tangent, it might skip off if you're listening, or you just might have to listen to him bark. I don't know. We'll just see what happens. Okay. So we have it written down here, and we're going to go listen to what they had to say about the answers here. Here we go.
Vince.
Okay.
And I'd like to start by saying that I agree with the two of you that the rye chip is the best one.
Right.
In order of increasing worseness, we have round pretzel for 1 point.
And then square.
Square pretzel for 2 points. Wheat checks for 3 points.
People didn't like the wheat checks.
The
breadstick? Breadstick for
they said
4 points. Which means the worst Chex Mix flavor, according to the Mythical Beast, is the rye chip, meaning the green bags were worth 5 points. So, Red, you got...
All right, so let's go through here. I think I won.
What?
Okay, here we go. So,
wait. Are we doing their point system or our own?
No, so it's just like if you got one correct, you get a point.
Okay, all right.
So, rye chip is number 1. I get 1 point.
Oh, I definitely... They said in order of increasing worseness.
So they said the rye chip was the worst.
I think so.
Oh, no.
And I think I won.
That means the round chip. They said the round pretzel was number 1.
I believe so.
Hold on. there's no way they picked
Go back.
the
I'm almost certain.
All right, we're going. I don't even care that this is going to. Okay.
It's in.
Here we go. Square
I'm
pretzel.
almost certain I've won.
In order of increasing worseness. All right, I've got to play the audio for myself because I can't really hear it.
We have round pretzel for 1 point.
And then square.
Square pretzel for 2 points. Wheat checks for 3 points.
People didn't like the wheat checks.
Unbelievable. Are you kidding me? I'm not. No. Okay. So I've got to go back.
That's right.
Okay. So rye trip is the worst. You got that correct.
And I got that right.
Mini square. All right. You got the square correct as well.
What? They had that as second? Ooh, let's go.
Yeah, it was round and then square, which is why are the pretzels at the top? So I got the breadstick correct.
Okay.
And that is it. Cole is the winner. Son of a gun.
Yeah, that's right.
The rye chip is the worst?
It's so bad. It is so bad. The viewers are 100% accurate.
All right. Well, you win the first game. We'll keep our tally. You got to get your tally sheet up behind you like you said you would do. Tally sheet. There you go. You got plenty of wall space.
Yeah.
I've got wall space here that I'm going to utilize some stuff. Yep. And then I'm going to put the poll out actually today as we're recording this, but we have to name him. He has to have some type of name. I don't know what it's going to be, but we're going to have some votes for see what name. I think Lauren said Todd. I don't know. Todd's not a bad one. A generic name, I feel like really kind of sends it home. Okay. Outside of the game, last episode, we had so much content set up that we only got through like half of it. And we did a lot of the futuristic kind of New Year's components, but this one's going to be more or less kind of not necessarily our year in review, but more of stuff that we liked over the year or things that we enjoy or some memories that I think people can relate to. And I listen to my set of podcasts weekly, and there's 3 podcasts this week that they didn't do what we're doing. They just took clips throughout the season or the year of that they enjoyed the most. And I'll tell you what, they're actually really annoying to listen to those. And I know at the beginning of this, at the beginning of this, I was telling you about one of the ones that we listened to and how one of the parts is really, really funny. And I'm not going to say a podcast for this because it's a little bit, it's not meant for all ages. We'll just say it that way. But it's a comedic, it's more of a comedic podcast. And theirs was really good because a lot of times in their episodes, it's just like them talking, but like the Impulsive podcast, which I also listen to, it would be like, all right, they played a clip, they had a transition song, and then you just get thrown into a conversation and then transition thrown in. It's so disorienting.
That's kind of weird. Yeah.
It was really hard to follow, but the other one, they did pretty good with it. So we're not obviously doing that, and that would take a lot of work.
That would be a lot of effort.
Yeah, it'd be a lot of effort. Okay, and coming off of the clip that you guys just saw or you just heard, we're going to go straight into some of our favorite YouTube channels or YouTube videos that we've watched over the past year or so. And one of our favorites we talked about several times, or definitely one of mine, is that show called Good Mythical Morning. And a lot of the ideas that I've started to kind of pull into the podcast has actually been based off their stuff. Do you remember when you started watching Good Mythical Morning? Or
honestly, this year.
Just this year? Okay.
Like, I'd seen videos before and clips and stuff, obviously, but this year was the year that I started legitimately watching them a pretty good amount. So I love them. I think they're great.
Kylo wants to get on the podcast.
Yeah, he does.
Buddy? He's got a sock for me. Yeah, it's a. If you don't watch it, they come out with tons of videos. It's pretty family friendly for the most part. They have some inside jokes, and it's just something easy to throw on when you're eating lunch. And they put out so many videos, you're always going to have a new one kind of popping up. So it's a great show.
Definitely watch. Definitely go and check them out.
Yeah. What is one of your favorite? That's definitely one of my favorite. That's not a food one. What's one of your favorite YouTube channels that you kind of regularly watch?
I watch. This is the nerdy side. I've been watching a lot of Gotham Chess. He's a chess YouTuber. He's got like 2 million subs, and he puts out a video every single day.
Does he really?
Mm-hmm. Every single day.
What does he do on the video? So is it like teaching?
Sometimes it's teaching. Sometimes he reviews like really bad games that his subscribers send to him. And then sometimes he does review of chess tournaments that are going on and reviews of those games and just kind of like what happens in them. He plays a game called Guess the ELO, which is always funny. ELO is like your rating. So he's looking at a game and trying to guess the rating of both of the players.
Okay.
So, yeah, he's pretty funny. His personality is great. He does all of his videos in one take. Like there's no cuts. So it's just him talking for like 20 to 30 minutes, which is really impressive.
Yeah. I mean, it's like when we do podcasting, the nice thing about this type of content is you can, most people when they listen to podcasts, I feel like they're not like sitting down. I don't sit down and eat lunch and listen to a podcast.
Yeah,
I mean, I might watch it, but with this style of content versus like a YouTube video that is more in the sense that you can do this longer form where you're not perfectly organizing your words or perfectly just like not having a bunch of filler to it but like on TikTok, it's complete opposite. If we were to take a clip from this episode and just try to throw it on TikTok without edits, people are just gonna be like, too slow. I'm sorry, too slow. That's where the editing is different from YouTube.
It's true.
TikTok. You can't.
But yeah, that was the nerdy kind of channel that I got into. And then one funny one I really liked her name's Gabby Bell. She does like, I don't know, commentary videos about just whatever. And I will say I found her not really that early, but like she had like 80K subs and now she has like 400K. So I was like, this is pretty hype.
Nice.
Not trying to gatekeep. You should definitely check her out.
Yeah, and any of the ones we're going to talk about today are just like 100%. I recommend go check this out. Good Mythical Morning for sure. Like go check it out. I think everyone can really appreciate watching that show in some way, shape, or form. And one of my more nerdy ones that I've listened to or I've put a lot of information from, and this is definitely really nerdy, it's called Star Talk. It's with Neil deGrasse Tyson, which I've talked about him before as well. And it's a lot of space components or just future tech or things along those lines. That's one of the ones I like. And one of the other ones that it's not that I watched more so recently, but I wanted to bring this up is, have you ever watched any of the Hacksmith Industries YouTube channel where they like build like lightsabers? That's really cool. Another funny, nerdy one. And trust me, we don't all have nerdy ones that we're going to talk about, but this is kind of in my beginning of my list. But essentially he has this workshop and a YouTube channel where he's developed a bunch of cool tech. Like he developed kind of almost like a lightsaber, or he made Thor's hammer where it's connected to a magnet. Like the only way you can get it off is you have to do a certain way.
Oh, that's sick.
Yeah, it's really cool. But that's that one is another good.
That's really cool. Another one I watched is called Hive Mind. Mm-hmm. Have you heard of that at all?
I haven't. It's interesting. There's so many YouTube channels out there that
it's insane.
You have like 3 that I've never heard of, but you've probably put a couple of hours into watching them.
Yeah.
So that's funny.
Yeah. Hive Mind, they're like big music people. They talk about just like songs that they like, and they review other people's kind of playlist or Spotify Wrapped, or they play games with like artists and stuff. So they're pretty funny, entertaining. I like their videos a lot. Yeah, they're cool. I like them.
Yeah. I would say the YouTube channels that I do watch the most is cooking channels, and this is where if you're really a cooking person, I'm gonna beam off my top like 5 here real quick, just so you can kind of just like develop a list, and then I'll go into them a little bit. But another one's with Ethan Chelobowski, and his YouTube channel. I discovered
him this year too. Yeah,
he's got the big mustache.
Yeah,
I don't know how much time he puts into some of those videos, but it's got to be up there because the amount of research that he does beforehand and the amount of cooking. But he's a really good one to jump into with content.
You know, I really like his fast food series where he's like, can I cook it faster than I can get the food? So like his brother goes out and gets the food. So like his brother will leave the apartment to like pick up a Chick-fil-A sandwich, and then Ethan will stay in and make a Chick-fil-A sandwich as close as he possibly can to it in the same amount of time or less time. So that series is really cool.
It is really cool, but I would argue the biggest issue with it is that he doesn't show him doing the dishes or putting the food away, which adds. It's like, okay, if you're cooking a meal, I feel like most people, when they cook a meal, it ends up being that they'll cook more than what they're actually eating. They'll have like leftovers just to kind of, in a general sense, not that you always have to do that. And then, so that means that the amount of time it takes to do the dishes, he does them a little bit, not to discredit what he does, because it's still really good. But timing wise, it might be a little bit off, but he usually beats his brother in those episodes.
Yeah, I think those are really cool episodes to me.
He has a really good mustache too. Some of his videos are a little bit longer, but he's a good one to check out. And another one that I've mentioned before, Sam the Cooking Guy. I've probably utilized the most of my newer recipes or newer ideas of cooking from his videos this year. A lot of good Mexican recipes. I love Sam the Cooking Guy.
Is that the guy that throws the knife into the cutting board? Or am I thinking of someone else?
You're thinking of the TikTok guy that talks like really fast.
Yeah, he does talk really fast.
He's okay. I think he's kind of annoying. Just to be honest, sorry. It's just not from. He's not for me.
No, yeah, that's fair.
But Sam the Cooking Guy. No, Sam is. He's I don't know. He's an interesting guy. His sons are kind of the producers of the show, where they're the ones recording and they're behind the camera and they interact with him while he's cooking. And he's kind of the cook's cook in this, not the cook's cook. He's the opposite of the cook's cook. He's the man's cook, where he doesn't really measure stuff. He's like, all right, that's about a 2. And then he just kind of like makes it. So he's a little more laid back. I like Sam.
Yeah. Have you ever seen Cooking with Babish?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, he's great. I need to watch more of his stuff. I love all the TV show and movie stuff are great.
Yeah, Cooking with Babish is really good. He has I feel like he has the widest range on not only recipes that he does, but then also the way he goes about filming his episodes. Not like the camera angle is different, but he'll have people come in or what he talks about. Cooking with Babish is another good one to go check out. You don't watch any cooking shows on YouTube?
Not really. I don't like. Here's what's so funny. So you know how you watch different things with different friends? Sometimes, like maybe like back in college or what, like depending on who you're with, you watch different type of content together.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So when me, Aaron, my friend, and then Aaron, my girlfriend, would be together watching, like eating food or whatever, we would put on YouTube videos, and we put on food YouTube videos specifically. And we'd watch like, random stuff, like a cheese expert talk about different kinds of cheeses and how you're supposed to eat these cheeses. Is that the plural for cheese? Cheeses?
It's a great question. I'm the wrong person to ask those types of questions.
It doesn't feel, it's not flowing off the tongue like I want it to. Cheeses.
You just reminded me of something.
Jesus.
Have you ever? I don't know if it was Aaron that. Do you know the cooking show where the lady cooks stuff really, really bad on purpose as a joke?
Yes. Is it Cooking with? Oh no! I gotta remember.
What is it? Claudia? There's a couple of them up here.
No, it's
no. You should text Aaron. Does she know? Would she know who it is? Text her real quick, and we can come back to it.
She would.
Well, what I'm talking about, and I completely forgot about it until you said that. If you want a good little laugh or just a completely in the opposite range of good cooking shows in the sense of what they're cooking. This YouTube channel, which Cole's going to find the answer for us here, hopefully. This lady just cooks food and she just does everything completely wrong as kind of, it's as a joke, right? Like she's joking.
We're not sure yet. Okay. No hate to her. No hate to her. It's very entertaining because it's just so egregiously bad sometimes, but she does seem like a very nice lady. And her son tries all of her food, and he's always like, "It's pretty good. I like it."
Yeah, we'll have to figure out what it's called. Oh no, okay, that's not it. I typed in cooking with, and there's so many different names popping up here. So hopefully Aaron will be able to come through, and I could maybe text Lauren, but I don't know if she'd remember. I know. I think Cameron would definitely know. I don't know. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
You know what show I'm talking about, though. Okay. And then as far as some other honorable mentions, as far as cooking shows go, Worth It. Have you ever watched Worth It? That's what, when you eat lunch today, you need to go look up a Worth It episode and watch it.
Worth
Have you watched it before?
No, I've never heard of it.
It's two guys. They pick out essentially 3 different price points of some type of meal. So like a burger, for example. And there's the cheaper one, there's the middle range one, and there's the high price one. And they eat them, and then they just kind of, all right, is it worth it to get the more expensive or the cheaper based on the price and what it tastes like in the experience?
That makes sense.
It's really good. And they go kind of around the country. I think they're based in LA or something, but it's a good, very well produced show. It's not even, I don't even consider that a YouTube channel. It's almost like a TV show that they put on YouTube essentially, because it's very well produced and I'm sure there's a lot of money in it. But Worth It, that's one to go check out first, I feel like. Right. It's kind of the middle ground of, they don't really cook, but there's food you can watch and look at. And then the ultimate, the creme de la creme, as far as I feel like cooking YouTube channels go, and the information that you get from it, and just his humor and everything about him, as Joshua Wiseman. The dude is the man. If you really want to learn about cooking and you don't know a lot about cooking, Joshua Wiseman. I've done his Big Mac sauce this season. I've learned about washing red onions. I've done crunch wraps. I think there's probably 10 things I've done off of this channel this year. Joshua Wiseman. Amazing.
Joshua Wiseman. I feel like I've heard that name, but I haven't watched any of his stuff.
He's really, really good. Nice. Another guy that, this will be the last cooking one, then we're going to go to something else. Unless you have another YouTube channel you want to talk about. But another one that I recently discovered, and I don't know, I guess it's his shtick, but it's kind of annoying. It's called Saltag. That's his channel. Some of the stuff he cooks looks incredible, but he always is like cussing, and like he has a weird personality that I'm not a huge fan of. And it's like his shtick is that he jokes about how he always cusses during his. I'm like, if you would just take that out, I don't like, and just instead of having the cussing, just have like more of a more rugged. I don't know, but his food's really
good. Sorry, I was holding that one in.
Cough button. Cough straight into the mic.
I know. Yep, I will cough right into it every time. That's all the YouTube channels I got for you.
Right,
I didn't discover a whole lot this year, honestly. I just stuck to my basics.
Stepped in your basics. Well, if you're looking for another YouTube channel to subscribe to and to follow, if you don't want to listen to the full-length episodes on the podcast, I just recently started the Clips episode, the Clips channel. And it's called ATTE Clips. So I've kind of turned the podcast name into an acronym.
Maybe it's over there.
Yeah. So it's going to be in the description below. Go. If you're watching this, just go subscribe to it. It's just simple clips. I'm going to do one clip per episode, one of kind of like a really good section of the episode for 5 to 10 minutes long. And that'll also be out, and you can go check it out. And it's called ATTE Clips. I've got the first clip up now from the last episode.
Press that button. Right there.
Go down to the description. Right, yeah, do all the YouTube
Maybe
stuff
it's over
where we
here.
have to act cheesy. Yeah.
Maybe
act
right
cheesy
here.
And do that. So that's out as well.
It's free. Please.
Exactly. All this free content.
Begging.
Shows. Let's go into shows. I know we talk about movies and TV shows so much, but
doesn't matter.
Fun stuff. Yeah.
It's important.
It's very important. The next episode will not be about this. It's going to be definitely a little bit different. Okay, shows. I'm going to go through just straight through. I'm going to list them, and then you can list whatever ones you want, and then we'll talk about them. So then people can kind of just, instead of just like waiting. These shows are the ones that I've watched this year that are newer seasons, or just kind of like that popped up in the forefront of my head of shows that if Lauren and I watch a show and we really sprint through it. I feel like that means there's a lot about that show. So those are also on this list. So here we go. And these aren't first seasons or second. It's just like in general. Lock and Key on Netflix. Rings and Power. It's on Amazon. Warrior Nun, which is on Netflix. Inventing Anna, which we'll definitely have to talk about, on Netflix. The Kardashians, which is on Amazon. Love Island. The Bachelor. Hunter x Hunter. And I've watched tons of stand-up on Netflix that I love watching stand-up. So what is your list of shows that you've watched this year? Do you remember?
Yeah,
I have your list.
Yeah. I got a big old list here.
Okay,
I finally watched Breaking Bad, so I'm really excited about that. Love Island season 8, me and Aaron watched together, and right now we're in the middle of 4 and 5. So big Love Island year. Also, The Kardashians, great show. Honestly, pretty well produced. Okay, we'll get to that though.
Yeah,
Hunter x Hunter. I did watch that. I watched Wednesday recently on Netflix. Hell's Kitchen. Love that show. MasterChef season. Oh yeah, I love Hell's Kitchen. You know what? That's my cooking show. MasterChef seasons 1 through 3. Succession season 3, and then I rewatched the whole thing when I was sick. 1 through 3. I watched The Rehearsal, and then Stranger Things season 4. And I've definitely watched more, but that's what I remembered. That's what stood out.
I wish there could be like an app that just follows across your streaming platforms of what you watch for the year, almost like a Spotify Rewind, but it's for all streaming platforms, which they would never come together to do that. So then, because I forget what I watch sometimes, I'm like, oh yeah, I remember that show. That was a really good one.
Yeah, I had to rack my brain just to come up with that list because I just forget. I watch it and then move on.
Yeah,
especially if it's not like super impactful to me, which not every TV show has to be, obviously, but like if it didn't really hit me or I didn't like remember it, I guess, then yeah, it's just not gonna show up on this list. All right, anything you want to mention? You want to break down?
I wanted to go through this one first. I probably shouldn't, but I'm going to. If you haven't watched it, then we're not going to go into it. Have you watched Inventing Anna?
No, I haven't. I've heard about it though.
Okay, I'm going to give a piece of advice to everyone about this show. Should you watch it?
Okay.
Kind of. Here's the reason. Kind of.
Okay.
You know how in Harry Potter, in Harry Potter, what is her name? The lady that takes, I can't believe I can't remember her name right now. The pink lady with the cats, and she takes over the school. You know what I'm talking about? What's her name?
Don't got it either.
Oh, son of a gun. All right, it's got to be YouTube. All right.
Two guys Googling right now.
Harry Potter pink lady. That's how I'm typing this in. This is my grandpa search.
It's going to be pretty.
Pink lady.
You got it.
All right. It's going to pop up. I guarantee it. Come on. No. I mean, okay. So I got to see it. It popped up. Dolores Umbridge.
Yeah, so, Umbridge. That's right.
In the movie Harry Potter, Dolores Umbridge, that actress plays that character so well that you just hate her.
Yeah.
When Inventing Anna, the actress plays the character so well that you're like, ugh. And then you have to keep watching it because the story is so compelling. So it's a kind of, but you're probably going to get annoyed during it. Is my 2 cents on that show.
It doesn't sound very appealing. So
I think that's how it's supposed to be though.
Okay.
If you don't have, I feel like there's other options out there if you want to spend your time that are newer that you should probably put your time into. But if you run out of stuff to watch, it's there.
Yeah.
Is the best way to put it.
Okay.
Now let's go. Go ahead.
I'm going to talk about one now. My turn.
Okay. Yep. Sorry. Yes, sir. Perfect.
Have you heard of The Rehearsal?
No.
Okay. Have you heard of Nathan For You? We watched one episode together, I think. Maybe.
I don't know. I'm not.
Okay. Nathan Fielder is just like a comedian that has these really stupid TV show ideas.
Yeah. Okay. I recognize it now.
Oh my God. He's so funny. He's so deadpan and just really funny. The Rehearsal is a TV show. Basically, the premise is he's allowing people to rehearse for big life moments by doing a bunch of rehearsals and planning out all of the variables that could happen. So the first episode is a friend has been lying to his friend group about his education level, and he wants to figure out the best way to tell it to them that he's been lying because he's worried that they're not going to want to be friends with him. So Nathan so they plan a meetup with his friends in a couple weeks at a bar. So Nathan builds a replica of this bar inside a warehouse so that he can plan out every single variable inside the bar for the meeting. He hires an actress to play the friends and stuff. It is unbelievable. It's so insane. Like, everything about it is so weird and off the wall, and I love it. It's so good.
So this is like actual people.
Yeah.
Okay.
Actual people with actual problems, and this is how he's offering to solve them.
That is interesting. I will have to check it out.
So crazy. It's on HBO Max.
Okay. We have every streaming service. I don't know how. Eventually when Netflix, and I don't know if you guys know this, but I think Netflix at any time now is going to basically hammer down that only one person can hold the account, or they're going to change up the rules. Yeah. So you can't keep bumming off other people, and that's going to be unfortunate for us as well. Yeah. Those little meanies.
Yeah. But that was a big show for me this year that I really enjoyed.
Is that one season, or are there multiple out?
There's one season right now. And the first episode is kind of like a pilot. And then the rest of the season sort of follows one storyline that's really interesting. A bunch of different twists and stuff.
Well, as far as shows go, I think IMDb is a pretty good reference as far as ratings go on how shows work out in a sense.
Yeah.
Try to guess the IMDb rating on this thing out of 10.
For The Rehearsal?
Yeah. 8.8.
Oh, wow.
It's really high.
That's higher than I thought it would be, honestly.
Yeah, that means it's a definite checkout. All right, well, there we go. That's Cole's recommendation of the day for me is I'm going to go watch The Rehearsal. I'm going to see if Lauren wants to watch it as well. We're in The Rehearsal.
It is so funny and so insane. Like, there's so many jaw-dropping moments. Not even of just shock or craziness, but it's just like, I can't believe these are real people doing this right now.
Okay. No, I'm definitely down for it. So my YouTube suggestions 100% to go watch is Joshua Wiseman, Worth It, or Good Mythical Morning if you want to. It's great. There's so many of it. But those are my two. Definitely go check those out. And then your show is The Rehearsal. I would say the show for me, that's like a 100% recommendation that I saw this year that everyone should watch. It can be tricky for me because if you don't like this style of show, then you may not like it. But these two shows Lauren and I sprinted through, and are they 10 out of 10 shows? No, but they're fun. One is Lock and Key, and 2 is Warrior Nun, and those are both on Netflix.
Warrior Nun sounds like the craziest show I've what is that about?
It is pretty crazy. It's about a society of nuns that are a part of the church that are trained to be warriors to fight off demons and things along those lines. And yeah,
so it sounds as goofy as it is.
Yeah, it explains it very well. They're warrior nuns, and there's, again, it may not be, both of these shows are very sci-fi, and I'll explain Lock and Key here in a second too, but that's what they are. And the girls are the fighting scenes are really good. The nuns, they're just, for lack of a better word, they're their costumes they wear, and then I don't want to give anything away, but there's powers and things along those lines, and it's cool. It's a good show. I like it. We sprinted through it. The second season, just boom, blasted through. I like it.
Nice. And then Lock and Key.
Yeah. Have you not watched either one of these?
Yeah, I've seen Lock and Key a few episodes. I haven't finished it, but I know the general vibe of Lock and Key.
Yeah, Lock and Key, and just like Cole said, if you're not really into some of this stuff, or some shows are just different for everyone. I might watch The Rehearsal and not like the deadpan about it. It can be definitely whatever. It's one of those things. But these are mine. Lock and Key, to not give anything away either. It's essentially a family, Locke family. They move into a house because of a certain reason that I won't give away, and it's a family house in which there's a bunch of magical keys placed around the house that they start finding. And then it just kind of envelops into this villain in the story of the keys. And it's cool. It's another kind of sci-fi. Obviously, I'm into sci-fi and stuff. So, yeah. But those two are really good. Those are my recommendations. Do you have any other recommendations?
I think
Kardashians.
Yeah, honestly, here's what I'll say. If you have written off the Kardashians and whatnot, I'm not kidding. This TV show is definitely way, way better produced and just overall better than Keeping Up with the Kardashians. They were just super trashy in that. And like, I mean, that's sort of how they got their fame, right? I mean, sort of. Whatever.
Sort of.
Yeah. But like this one is just a lot more cleaner of a like reality TV show. It just overall is just better to watch, a better experience, you know. But obviously if that's not your thing, don't watch it. But it's pretty goofy. They're actually insanely rich, and I wouldn't say completely out of touch, but you know, they're rich and out of touch a little bit. So it's entertaining to watch that.
Have you seen the TikTok channel that makes fun of the Kardashians?
No, I haven't.
I will send you some.
All
They're
right,
really funny.
Yeah.
They do such a good job of acting like the characters from the show.
Okay,
I'll say the same thing. I'll say the same thing with the Kardashians. It's very surface level content. It's very well produced. But they live in just this extreme world that's so different from the average person that it does make it makes it entertaining, and it's very well shot. It's not like just like early 2090s trashy reality TV.
Yeah.
It's actually a show now that they're producing, and they have certain things they're showing. So is it worth a watch? I think so. Yeah. If you want to watch something that's kind of casual that you're not going to get anxiety from because you have to do this or that, just kind of laid back, something casual watching.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. I like it.
I will say, as far as the out of touch thing, they do have like similar problems, I would say, and similar like everyday life things that happen to them that you could relate to, but just it's such on a different level because of how rich they are and how they like deal with those problems, I guess, that makes it like, oh, this is really interesting and different.
Yeah, they have a lot of similar problems, but there's a different way they can deal with it, or they manage it, or they might have problems that don't exist to us because of their fame that they also have to deal with. But on a surface level, it's still very similar. Just like, oh, I have anxiety about this.
Yeah.
But instead of for them, it's because of this reason. For us, it's because of that reason. So it's like, but it's still similar, which is entertaining. It's kind of a psychology experiment.
Yeah, it's definitely
kind of get into.
Yeah. So I'll take back my out of touch statement. I mean, I'm sure they still are, but it's definitely an interesting watch.
They're in a completely different world. The fact that we just sold the Kardashians it's okay. The fact that we just sold the Kardashians harder than I sold Inventing Anna.
Yeah, that's exactly what you did.
We just sold that so hard. Rings of Power. If you're a Lord of the Rings fan, definitely go check it out. I feel like there's a huge degree of opinions on that show. I won't get into it a ton, but Cole, you're a Lord of the Rings fan, so you got to go check it out.
I know. I haven't watched a single episode yet. I don't really know what the storyline's about. Is it about sort of the beginning, like when the rings are made, sort of deal?
Yeah. So it's kind of the beginning.
Okay, cool.
It's kind of the beginning. So it's
all
really
right.
good.
Then I'm definitely excited to watch it. We definitely need to bring up Hunter x Hunter. Is that what you're going to say?
Well, I'm going to do one more, and then Hunter x Hunter will be the last one we go over for sure.
Right.
I do want to talk about Love Island and The Bachelor, not from an entertainer standpoint. So Cole and I, if you don't know, Aaron and Lauren on Mondays, typically Tuesdays, which we didn't do it this week. We broke the streak because of the holidays, which is okay.
Yeah.
We've been hanging out and doing other stuff, but we watch Love Island right now, and The Bachelor is going to come on later, and it's just a fun way to hang out. We enjoy it. But the reason I want to bring it up is The Bachelor and then Love Island, they have an American version that we watched the American version of The Bachelor, and then we watched the UK or the British version of Love Island. And the differences of emotional intelligence in the way they interact with each other is astounding. And we've talked about it at length. Is it based on the way they're raised or what's going on? And if you really want to get into that psychology experiment, you could watch one episode of The Bachelor and you can watch one episode of Love Island and be like, these people talk about themselves and to each other completely different. And it's insane.
It's pretty wild. And I think me and Aaron talked about the main difference is that Love Island, they film every single day and they release an episode every single day. And The Bachelor, they release one for the week. So they condense a week's worth of conversations, content, just like what they're doing, into 2 hours, compared to Love Island that condenses one day into 45 minutes. So you just see character development a little bit better. And I say character development, they kind of are characters. Let's all not beat around the bush. These aren't like people on reality shows. They're characters. But you see just how these people interact on a daily basis, how they resolve issues on a daily basis. And it's so much healthier on Love Island. It's so much healthier.
I mean, it's apparent very quickly. Again, just one episode, the way that they talk to each other about relationships or emotions, the way that they interact, not only with that, but with themselves. Like if you have the American version of, I guess, Love Island or The Bachelor, and the way they talk to the camera about themselves versus it's just different. It's just like, and you can just tell the UK version is more, it's more positive. It's more, it's more not conformative. It's more just, it's more, not fluid's not the right word. It's more, not coordination. I'm thinking of the right cooperative. They just work better together in a positive way, which you're going to elect a better response or situation. And it's through just, I don't know, more emotional intelligence. I don't know how they learned where they learned all this stuff from. Cause they're like the same age, if not younger. I don't know. It's crazy, but yeah.
Like, yeah, it's pretty wild. It's gotta be just an upbringing sort of thing. And yeah, that's gotta be the difference. Because there was in season 8, there's a 19-year-old, a 19-year-old on that show. So pretty wild.
All right, let's transfer over here to more movies. I would say over the past, what?
We forgot to talk about Hunter.
Oh, sorry. Back it up. Hunter. So the Hunter, we have talked about it on the anime episode that we did, and
we didn't do one. Yeah,
we didn't.
I haven't done one.
It was Karina and I, but I've in hindsight of that episode, all the anime that we didn't talk about, I was like, oh man, if a real big anime person came in here and listened to this episode, they would destroy us because I'm newer to the space. but Cole recently watched Hunter because I forced his hand into it. How do you feel about the ending, and how do you feel about that show? No spoilers.
So I'm not giving any spoilers. I will say this was my first ever anime TV show. Honestly, I really liked it. Me and my friends sort of had this stigma around watching anime, but it's fine. But personally, I really liked it. I thought it was good. I really liked the progression. I liked the powers. I thought the storylines were cool. The ending, I kind of don't like. Not that it's dissatisfying. It's just not what I wanted, if that makes sense.
I got you. Yeah. It is coming back, hopefully. I believe the writer is. So if you've never watched it before, the ending is kind of a big cliffhanger. I don't have a problem with it, but if the show were to end there, which allegedly it hasn't came out, I don't know, it's like 5 years since the last season because the writer's been sick, and I think he's back and he's been writing, so it should come back. And so they can kind of save the ending and wrap it up better. I don't mind it. I can understand exactly your feelings about the ending of that for sure. And it's because it wasn't supposed to end there. But here's the thing now. It did end there, but now we'll have like this whole new world to go into kind of thing without ruining anything. So there's a lot of potential there for sure. So that'll be.
I forgot about that cliffhanger until you just, okay. Yeah.
There's a huge potential into where the story can go. And then they can maybe bring it back to maybe what you were expecting, more of an ending. And I think that's what they should do. Because I know exactly what you mean about like you weren't satisfied with the ending. And I know what you mean. But Hunter, one of my favorite shows. And Cole got him to watch it.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I'm not going to lie. Like it was great.
I've stopped. I haven't watched any anime in a while. I watched My Hero, which is I love. You should watch My Hero. My Hero is pretty good too. It's kind of same. It's kind of similar along the lines of Hunter x Hunter and Powers and stuff like that. But it's a good show.
All right,
so,
fair enough.
All right, that's the shows. Let's go to movies. I don't watch nearly as many movies as I used to, and I think it's just like a timing component. I just prefer shows or whatever with my free time, video games to just kind of shut off.
Yeah.
But other movies that I have watched, I only have 5 here, but I know it's more, but these are the ones that popped off my head.
It's the same thing with TV shows. You just forget what you've watched.
Yeah.
You know?
But these are the ones that popped up. All of them are super nerdy. They are. Thor, God and Thunder, Doctor Strange, the new Batman, Uncharted, and the new Fantastic Beasts, Secrets of Dumbledore. I can't speak.
Dumbledore.
What do you got? What did you watch this year?
I forgot I did watch the Fantastic Beast one. I watched the new Thor movie. I watched The Big Short recently. The new Batman movie, Godzilla versus King Kong. I can't remember if I watched it this year or like fall of 21. Sometimes it blends together for me, but the Grand Budapest Hotel, the John Wick series, Nice Guys, Uncut Gems, When Harry Met Sally, and I recently watched, literally last night, Glass Onion, the new Knives Out mystery.
Okay. We'll start there. Don't ruin anything, but how'd you feel about that movie?
Honestly, really liked it. I thought it was great. I think the first one was better. I liked the first one better, but like I wasn't unhappy with it. I think it was good.
This is my suggestion for both of those movies. Or you can do it differently for each one. They're really fun. It's a great family movie. I wouldn't recommend. Did you watch it by yourself? Or did you watch it with someone?
I watched it with a couple people.
Okay, perfect. I would recommend to do one of two things: watch it by yourself or watch it with another person. And then the second time, watch it with someone else. No, sorry. Let me back up my train of thought here. Watch the first one first for sure. I agree with Cole. The second one's a little bit better. They're both just really fun. Watch the first one first if you can. If you can't, it's not that big of a deal. They actually don't have the same storyline, just the same feel. So it doesn't ruin anything. You can watch them the other way. But when you watch it, if you watch it by yourself, watch it a second time with someone else and have them try to guess what's going to happen. Because it's kind of like a murder mystery and see how well they can guess it. If not, watch it with someone else, and then the whole time try to work together to kind of be the detective to figure it out. And that's what Lauren and I did with the Glass Onion, because we've already watched the first one. Is the whole time we were trying to like, all right, who is it? We kind of paused it because we were cooking stuff and whatever, and we did it together because it's a murder mystery. But it's a really fun show on Netflix. Easy find too.
Nice. I almost figured it out. I didn't figure out the person by any means, but sorry, I didn't figure out the person. But I figured out like 2 of the like clue things that help lead to the person.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to be honest as well. I get in trouble sometimes. Not in trouble. I fall asleep a decent amount watching stuff.
Oh, no.
And I'm recommending a movie that I actually fell asleep during the ending. And I need to go back and rewatch it. So I don't even know what happens.
Oh, my gosh. That's so embarrassing.
I'm going to do it tonight. I think it was like the last 10 minutes. Like they were wrapping it up and I was out.
Oh my gosh.
Lauren didn't catch it, and I guess I woke up at the right time. Just like, I was like, whoops, asleep. Yeah, whoopsies. But of the movies that I watched, none of them, of the ones that I have on here, none of them are like, that was a great movie. And it's kind of sad.
Really?
Yeah. Thor and God and Thunder, we talked about it in the last episode.
Yeah,
the villain's great. It's just kind of like, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse, I'm going to be honest. The more I think about it, I need to watch the second time. In comparison to the first one, I really just don't like the new one. I'm just like,
it was a weird one. Yeah, it was definitely a weird one. Last thing I will say about Glass Onion. Yeah. I really liked that it was like, I mean, it was kind of around the pandemic, sort of that theme.
Yeah.
It was a movie that like actually kind of showed off, I don't know, some pandemic type stuff. So that was interesting. But
yeah.
Anyways. Yeah. So Doctor Strange. Yeah. It's kind of how I felt about the new one.
Yeah. And then I guess I would say I mean, off the cuff here, it's just to give a blatant recommendation of movies. Go watch Knives Out. Like that's our, I think that's my number one of the year. And it just came out. Go watch Knives Out. Yeah. Doctor Strange. It's just so weird. I feel like the fact that they were doing a multiverse thing and they were able to travel through different universes, and they don't spend much time really doing that. In all honesty, they kind of do and don't. They could have just done so much more. And then the whole Scarlet Witch thing, I feel like they could have written a completely different story and done so much better with what they did.
Oh, they definitely could have. Let's see. I do have one I'd recommend. I don't remember if I actually watched it this year, but it felt like I sort of did. The Grand Budapest Hotel. Great movie. Wes Anderson. If you've never seen it, definitely check it out. It's kind of a goofy story, but it's fun, and yeah, I like it. Uncut Gems. If you're old enough to watch that and your parents let you watch it, it's a good one. It's definitely a different vibe for Adam Sandler that you don't really see a lot, which is cool.
I want to see that. That's on my list.
Yeah, and then The Big Short. Really informational, but also entertaining at the same time. Do you know what it's about?
Yeah, I've watched it.
Oh, yeah. Great movie. I like that a lot.
Yeah, I think that one's out on Netflix now. That's a really good one to watch. A lot of big name actors and actresses in it. It's a good one. It's a very entertaining for sure.
Yeah, I liked pretty much all the movies I saw this year. I liked. We also like to watch really bad movies that I don't really remember that much. So go check out a bad movie. All right.
Yeah.
Oh, I do remember one. Velocipaster on Amazon. All right. Velocipaster. I don't know what the rating is. I can't recommend it to younger kids, but it's very entertaining and really bad. So
Velocipaster. I can't say that I'm going to actually spend the time to watch that, but a bad movie every now and then I have no problem with. It can do. There's just so many things out there.
There's a lot.
There's so much out there. Have you seen the newer Batman with Robert Pattinson?
Yes, I did. Yeah. I'm gonna give it a good. Okay is here. Great is here. It was good.
So Cole will probably be the only person that gets this, because this was on what I talked about earlier on that podcast. They talk about this, and you'll hear it as well. I'm going to agree with Cody on this one, and mid. No, I'm sorry, Noel. Noel was one that
mid.
It's mid. It's mid. It got so much hype, which can also deter it.
Yeah.
If you were to sit me down and be like, all right, you're going to watch the Dark Knight, not the Dark Knight. You're going to watch Batman Begins with Christian Bale, and then you give me the Christian. I'm going to pick and I know it may be based on when I saw it, but I wish I could just completely just blank slate both of them. And I think I still would be like, why would I no.
Yeah. I can't remember any plot points from the movie. When did it come out? Was it in March?
I don't know.
April?
I don't know.
Because I saw it pretty much the weekend it came out, and I don't remember any plot points from it. I just remember Robert Pattinson being very moody and depressed.
Emo.
Yeah, very emo. And then Catwoman was in it, I think, and the Penguin was in it, I think. And I just feel like nothing actually happened. but I don't remember. So
I know the vibe of the movie and the feel and the shots and some of the visuals were really stunning. That was very well done. But just like you said, the storyline, the amount of noise and going on in the back. No, it's perfectly fine. It makes me laugh. The amount of noise that's going on. Kylo did it earlier. The amount of noise going on. I can't believe the Amazon guy hasn't came, because Kylo would be going nuts.
I completely agree with you. Yeah.
It's it's not much. If you were to ask me the plot line of, again, Batman Begins, I can tell you right now the entire story. I've watched it multiple times, but I can tell you. And I wouldn't watch that Batman again, because it's 2.5, 3 hours long. I'm not watching that again.
Nope.
I don't know. Just nope. You want to know a funny secret on that one too? I didn't fall asleep, but I didn't finish it.
Oh my gosh. You just, you keep giving opinions on stuff you don't really have the right to give an opinion on.
If I don't want to finish it, that means it's going to, I watched it over several days. I'll go back and finish it.
Several days?
Yeah. I'm going to lie. I'm just going to lie. I just didn't, if something It just I just lost my interest. I'm like, I don't care anymore.
Right.
That's how I feel about it. It's just like, I don't care anymore.
We're going to be looking forward to the next year now, and you are going to finish every movie you start.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to see Knives Out.
That's your resolution.
Knives Out, I care enough that I'm going to go back and finish it. I fell asleep during that one. The other Batman, I just like, nah, I'm done with this. I don't want any more of this movie. I just don't. That's how I feel.
All right.
That's why it's mid.
Yeah.
Not that good.
I get it. But come on.
Right. Last movie, we'll do a little bit of food, and then we're out. I have to do the food section for a reason, because that's the highlight of the day, is about a restaurant. Okay. The new Harry Potter. Not even new Harry Potter. I don't want to call it that. The new Fantastic... You're going to laugh so hard. The new Fantastic Beasts, Secrets of Dumbledore. Guess what?
You didn't finish that one either.
It's not even that. We got to a part of that movie. Lauren and I were watching it. We agreed to turn it off because we were so done with it.
I mean, it's not good. I'm with you on that.
I love Harry Potter. The other Fantastic Beasts are okay. I'm fine with them. That one, there's just a part that's really sad. It already wasn't that great that we got to it. And we're like, you know what? I don't want to watch any more of this. And we turned, I don't know if I've ever done that where I'm just like, all right, we were like an hour or so in too. It's not like we were 15 minutes in. We turned it off. I have a really bad negative storyline of my movies I've watched this year. I'm sorry.
It's a tough year for you. Yeah, I mean, I'm not against you. I get it. It was not good. I mean, obviously it had it resolved, like the ending happens. But that's all I can say about it. Are they coming out with more?
Probably.
Hopefully they're better.
Yeah.
That's all I can say, because I'm gonna watch it. They know I'm going to watch it.
Yeah. Yep.
And they have all the power. They have all the power.
Yep.
And there's nothing I can do about it.
You're going to watch the new Indiana Jones. You're going to watch all the Marvel movies that come out. They have the power. We're going to sit here and watch it. Well, Avatar is doing really good right now. We talked about it in the beginning of the last episode. I think it's 2 weeks in, and it's over 1 billion or something worldwide already.
Are you serious?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God.
Great. So every person that I've talked to, I think I'm like up to 5 people that have seen it at this point. That they haven't told me any spoilers, but every single time I ask them, immediately it's really good. Like they know it's good. Yeah. It's not like a hesitation of thinking about it. It's like off the dome. No, it's good. So I was like, all right, got to see it. But yeah,
I did see a TikTok that was interesting. He was like, it was this guy that worked on set for them.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
You know what I'm talking? And the water, the water thing.
It's cool.
Yeah. So he was like, I signed an NDA, but I'm going to share this anyways. And he was specifically in charge of keeping. So they had a bunch of underwater shots for those of you that don't know, and he was in charge of keeping the water at a very specific temperature for each actor and actress. Okay. So some of them liked it really cold, and some of them couldn't stand it being really cold. And one of those people that couldn't stand it being cold was Zoe Saldana, I believe. I don't know. One of the actresses didn't like it very cold, and one of the actors needed it to be cold. He preferred that. And so they had to shoot any scene that they were in together separately in separate tanks, because they just couldn't handle the difference, which I mean, fair. Honestly, I would not be able to handle a certain level of temperature and acting in that water. But anyways, I thought that was really interesting.
Yeah, no, it's I saw that same exact thing. That's pretty cool. It was also from that movie, Kate Winslet. She held her breath because they filmed a lot of it underwater. She has the record now, I think, of actors or actresses that held their breath for the longest time. She held it for over 7 minutes to do that. That's crazy.
I mean, actually unbelievable. I don't think I could do a minute. I could do maybe a minute. How do you train yourself to do that?
Well, there's been several podcasts that I've listened to people, I don't know, specifically talk about how you hold your breath for longer. And it's just, there's different training techniques that you do, and it's mental and physical, and your body can go a long period of time. I know David Blaine did his whole breath thing, and he talked about how he trained for it. And I've listened to that, which is pretty cool.
All right, Aaron A., if you've made it this far, and we were talking about YouTube earlier, Aaron told me it's Kay's Cooking.
Okay, here we go. All right, let me pull it up real quick. If you've made, this is your bonus of the episode. It took her that long to respond. What is she doing? Complain to her.
Okay.
I'm just kidding.
No, she actually responded 30 minutes ago, so I'm the bad one here.
Okay. Kay's Cooking. She has 239,000 subscribers, and we don't want to be mean or anything.
No,
but if you,
it's just bad cooking technique. That's all it is. And she seems like a very lovely person, but she's very confident in her bad cooking technique. Oh,
yep. There's
the fire truck.
I gotta have it every episode.
Every
chicken. She does like a chicken bolognese. She did that 2 days ago. Big pace. Yeah, go check it out. It's definitely an interesting one to.
And please do not comment. Don't you dare make fun of her. She seems like a very lovely lady. Okay, but it's definitely worth the watch.
Yeah, it's definitely worth the watch. All right, let's do a little bit of food here, and then we're gonna knock this out. So we have a highlight this week, and the highlight that we're doing this week is going to be on I believe it's a local restaurant. I just thought of it this morning. So as far as the highlight goes, here's your highlight. This week's highlight is a restaurant that is local to Louisville. It's called Havana Rumba. It's one of Lauren and I's favorite restaurants. The food is amazing, and the service is always really good. My go-to is the Havana Club sandwich, and coming from a sandwich guy, it never disappoints. Proportion-wise, you're not going to leave hungry, and most of the time, the sandwich ends up being 2 different meals for me. I take it home, pop it in the air fryer with the fries for a little bit, and you're good to go. 2 meals for a total of $12.50, I think is pretty good. The menu is pretty extensive, so you can find something for everyone in your part of your family. I can't recommend Havana Rumba enough. If you live in Louisville or near, it's a must-try, and will probably become one of your family's reoccurring meals over the year. Havana Rumba has several locations, one of them right down the street from the gym. Try them out, and I can guarantee you won't be disappointed. Now back to the episode. Perfect. Okay, so as far as the food goes, there was your highlights. I really recommend going to that restaurant if you live in Louisville. If it may not just only be in Louisville, but in my head, I think it's only in Louisville, and it's a restaurant that I recommend, and it's a perfect transition into some foods that we've eaten or want to recommend around Louisville or in general. We'll go through these very quickly. Our episodes are really going the distance lately. We're going over an hour pretty easily.
Yeah, we are.
We are going to, and this will probably be a highlight eventually. This is actually going to be part of a review section for Lauren and I. The review section that Lauren and I are going to do this month, because we're going to a lot of restaurants because we got a lot of gift cards for Christmas this month. We're in January. We're not January yet, but we're going to review Jeff Ruby's, which I think is more of a not a local restaurant, but the one we're going to on Saturday for New Year's Eve is called Barvetti, and I'm stoked. It's in Louisville. If you live in Louisville and you're listening, Barvetti in Nulu is fantastic. We've been there before.
That's so good.
Cole's ready for their bread and cheese.
Yeah. I'm going.
What did you get last time? Do you remember?
So much. I got the spaghetti. No. I got the chicken parm. Got the chicken parm. And it was really good.
This will be the 3rd time Lauren and I went, and on her birthday we blew it out.
Yeah, we did.
Had like 7 people there, and we really went in on the table.
It was great.
Lauren's birthday. It was so good. Barvetti. Live in Louisville. Check it out. It's an Italian restaurant, kind of small. I would recommend definitely getting reservations.
Mm-hmm.
And Jeff Ruby's and Lauren and I are going to do a review on. I know. Have you had con huevos yet?
Yep, it's so good. It was so good.
I guess like 2 months ago. If you have a con huevos near you, it's a little pricey, but dang, it's good.
Yeah, it's definitely worth the, if you want to do a little brunch with some friends or family, it's definitely worth the outing to go there.
It's really good. I'm a huge fan, and you're going to definitely be full living there, even though you're spending $12 to $15 on a meal, and I know that's expensive for sure.
Yeah, it definitely is, but
you're full when you leave.
Yeah, it's definitely a good option if you gonna first watch a bunch. I love first watch, but like it's a good second option to get something new.
First watch I love first watch too. First watch is just I don't really want to call it the Chick-fil-A of breakfast places, but it just like doesn't miss. You know what I mean? Like you're gonna be satisfied leaving, unless you get there and it's super packed or you don't, whatever. But I really like first watch as well. It's super simple. You don't feel terrible after eating it because you're not super bloated from the food, but I like first watch too.
But yeah,
I mean, there's plenty of other stuff on here.
Yeah,
I think
there's a lot.
We have always so much stuff on here. We're not even gonna go through. We've talked about food at length. We're not gonna go through any more food. Yeah, that'll be it. Making crunch wraps. That's one thing I will talk about. I've made so many crunch wraps this year. It's a lot of what goes into my eating. I saw a TikTok on this actually. It's like, oh, my wife is making spaghetti for dinner, but I like everything to go in a burrito. So this dude takes his spaghetti and rolls it up into a tortilla. I said that to Lauren and she's like, yeah, that's pretty much you. I was like, yeah, I just like everything in a tortilla. I'm weird like that. But a crunch wrap is kind of that's my alternative to my burritos. Is making them crunchy and crispy through a crunch wrap. All right, that is it. This is like the part 2. I'm not even going to call it part 2. Part 2 of the New Year's episode.
All right, you better come up with some New Year's resolutions. All right.
Oh yeah, we got to go over this. So Cole sent me this. I do have some.
Okay.
Cole sent me. He's got a couple of resolutions. I don't typically do resolutions, but I did do one last year, and I held it for probably 6 months.
Okay.
Yeah, I did it for a while, and it's a really weird one. But
this is the year in review app. Tell us what you did.
It was literally drink an entire glass of water every morning.
Oh,
that's the first thing. That was literally what I did, and I did it for a while. I was pretty good with it. What is some of your ones from this year or last year? Because you sent this to me.
Well, from this past year, actually, one of my goals was to run the half marathon, and I ended up doing it. So that was good. That was hype.
There you go.
And that's it. That's all I really did that I kept up with. So
it's definitely superior to drinking a glass of water every morning and then only doing it for 6 months. I did it though.
All right. Well, I have 2 this year. I want to get in the gym. So I don't like doing crazy ones where it's impossible to keep. So I want to be in the gym at least once a week where I go to a gym and work out. And then I want to read or average reading 1 book a month. So like 12 books for the year.
Yeah.
That's my goal.
Those are good ones. Those are good ones. We might actually, when we get done with this episode, we might actually be talking about how I'm going to get you into the gym once a week very easily. So we'll definitely talk about that. But yeah, so New Year's part 2, we won't be talking about movies in the next episode. Specifically, we're going to come off that train and go into more, I don't even know what we're going to go into. I have a list, but we will in the future. We're going to do a Marvel episode, a full Marvel episode with thousands of spoilers, and that'll be into I want to do a full Marvel episode because we love talking about movies and all that. All right, we're out. 2023 is coming up for us. If you're watching this episode, you're already in. The New Year's is over, but this is part 2.
Happy New Year. Wow.
Happy New Year.
That's so exciting for you all.
For you guys. Yes.
Oh, yeah, and us.
And
bye.
Us. Yeah, bye.